Good evening, everyone. My name is Hinisha Malone, and I'm the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. And we believe that we are the solution to the issues in our community. Our theme is Nothing With Us Without Us. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is sponsored by Fathers Who Care, which is a nonprofit organization located on the west side of Chicago within the West Garfield Park community. Again, everyone, my name is Hinisha Malone, and I'm the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is comprised of young people within our community whose focus and concern is youth leadership and a voice within the community to reduce senseless violence and illegal substance use. We invite people from all over, especially young people, to come in and see what we are all about. Our show will be scheduled every Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, that is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Our show can also be viewed online at www.cantv.org/live. Again, that website is www.cantv.org/live. Well, everyone, I would love to introduce my guest for today. This is attorney Joy E. Tobert Nelson, and she's a state's attorney. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joy Tobert Nelson. I'm one of the assistant state's attorneys in Cook County.
Okay. Thank you, attorney, for being a guest on tonight's show.
Thanks for having me.
Again, everyone, my name is Hinisha Malone, and I'm the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. You are watching a live interactive call-in television program brought to you by CanTV 21. During the next 25 minutes, we are going to discuss developing the minds of our future leaders. We invite our viewers watching to engage via social media to better help us with ideas and thoughts on how we can better help our young people. So today's topic again is developing the young minds of our future leaders. And sorry for my voice, I was at a basketball game yesterday, so I was yelling really loud, so I kind of lost my voice today, but it's okay. Okay, attorney, now I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Tell our audience, who is Joy E. Tobert Nelson, and what is your purpose for existing?
First and foremost, I'm a mom of two really wonderful children, my daughter Elizabeth and my son Seth. Secondly, I'm a wife to my husband Carl, to my husband Carl, and then I am, for a living, I'm an attorney for the Cook County State Attorney's Office. So,
And you love doing that?
I love what I do.
That's good.
I think that being in the courtroom every day and working on these cases really taps into who I am and gives me energy to keep going every day.
That's good.
I love it.
So for anyone who doesn't know, what is the Community Justice Center?
So the Community Justice Center is a place where we do more than just prosecute. We also do programs, and some of the programs that we do, we go into schools, and we also try to solve some of the problems that the communities have when individuals in their communities do things that are not productive. Right. So one of the things that we'll do, if for instance we have an issue in Uptown and there's a store and they have lots of people coming in and they are taking things from the store. One of the things that we can do is we call it positive loitering, where we'll go into that community and maybe we'll have music and dancing in the street in front of the store. Just another way to bring positive attention to that retail establishment that's different.
Oh, that's amazing.
A different way to do it.
Yeah.
And so we're located in 4 different parts of the city. We have an office on the north side. That's where I work out of. We're also way south. We're in the west part, and we're on UIC campus.
Oh, nice.
So it's a different way of engaging the community and being a positive force.
That's good. So for the people who would take things out of that store, what happens to them?
So some of the people, if they're caught by the police, then that's when they get to see me in court.
Right.
And so they could be prosecuted for that crime. But there's also many other things that we do. There are lots of diversion programs that we have too. So that's when we get you engaged so that you don't go into jail and you don't go into prison.
Right.
We want everybody to have the opportunity for rehabilitation, which is really important to the Cook County State Attorney.
Yeah.
When we meet you there, we look at you as you come to us, and we try to restore you and get you better, because you're always going to go back into that same community, and we want healthy, thriving, strong communities. That's our goal.
That's amazing.
As state attorneys.
So why did you become a lawyer?
Well, my story to law school is long, but I won't give you the whole story.
Okay.
But I grew up, I was raised by my mom primarily and my grandmother. I grew up in public housing in Pittsburgh, and my uncle was involved in the criminal justice system from the time I was 2 years old. I remember distinctly coming into court when I was a really little girl, sitting on the very hard wooden benches, not being able to touch the floor and letting my feet kind of swing. And when he would come out from prison and the lockup,
Right.
we would always just be so emotional for him
Right.
because it was hard to see him come to court but never come home.
Right.
And
and only
so-
seeing him in those short periods of like negative
Correct,
times.
correct. And so from that experience and going to court all those times, I was seeing my future, but I didn't even know it. I was seeing myself as maybe one day as the judge that was sitting there, but definitely as where I am now, as the prosecutor in court. And just watching them as a little girl and the way they were able to shape the cases from the things that they were able to do
Yeah.
really gave me a vision of what I could be. But most of the prosecutors, I have to admit, that I saw, and the judges, and even the defense attorneys that I saw, weren't people like me. They weren't women, number one, and they
Right.
weren't people of color. So although I could see myself there, I didn't see myself there at that moment. And so if there's anything I could do with the time I have here on earth, I want to make sure that young people like yourself know that they can become lawyers, they can become judges,
Yeah.
and they can be part of that system that makes their communities better.
Yeah, that's amazing because I feel like we don't get exposed to jobs like that, like judges and like lawyers and stuff like that. I feel like it's only like doctor or be a basketball player or go into sports and go dance and stuff like that. It's not at all. It's like not any programs like, oh, we could take y'all to like the course to see how it worked. The only thing they might do is have like one class for it that you can only take like your senior year. Like I haven't took a class about law until this year. I have law in American society, and this is the only time I've ever learned about it. And I don't think that that's good because if this is a passion for me, I'm not really. I didn't really get shaped into like the knowledge of law until right now, and it's like I feel like I'm too far gone. I already have other passions that I have, and if that was like a goal or if that was like one of my purposes, I missed out on it because our community doesn't give us things like that, and neither does our schools. And I feel like we don't fight enough for it because we don't care enough for it because we don't hear about it at all. So it's like if we don't hear about these jobs, why am I fighting about it? I don't even want to do that because I don't know if I want to do that. So we don't have these opportunities. So I think that it's good that y'all do that because like we just miss out on so many opportunities and life lessons because we just don't have like the resources at all.
Well, I'm excited to tell you that we have partnered with Jones College Prep. They have a law
nice.
education curriculum that they have. So we brought those students on, and they're at 26th Street, Maywood, Bridgeview. There are many different places. So
Yeah.
it is important that we tap into our youth and get them engaged and involved at the high school level.
Yeah.
We love to see students come and intern with us in the summer, even when they're in undergraduate classes.
Right.
I mean, we have phenomenal law schools that are here in Chicago, and we love to get those students to come and intern for us too.
Yeah.
So I think that it's sometimes you tell one person, they tell another person,
Yeah.
and that's how you know. I mean, because in my family, there were no lawyers, there were no judges,
Yeah.
there was nobody that could could explain to me how to get where I am right now.
Yeah.
But I could change that, and for the people that like you that I get to meet. So
Yeah.
that's
good.
important.
So how did you find out about your organization? How did you find out about it?
And so again, I mean, I think if you're doing the right thing all the time, no matter where you are, good things will come to you.
Yep, I believe
And
that
so
also.
I was a student at John Marshall. I was on the moot court board. We were hosting an event at the school. One of the judges, I did not know who he was, came in. He needed a robe. I didn't know where to get him a robe, and so I made a couple calls. I said, I'll be right back. I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try everything I can to get you what you need because I know it's important for you.
He needed a robe from your school?
Yes, he needed a robe so that when he presided over the competition, he looked like a judge.
Oh, right.
So it's a
okay.
black robe that you wear.
Right.
I didn't know where one was, but I made a couple calls. I ran around the school. I found him the robe, got him the robe, and just went along my way. Didn't think anything more about it because that's what you do. When somebody needs something, you get it for them. Well, he went to his secretary and he found me. And what he offered me was several things. One, there was a scholarship that he was able to give me for a minority student to work at 26th Street with him in his chambers and learn what they do. I hadn't heard about this, the Cook County State's Attorneys because, like I said before, I didn't have anybody in my family or anybody that I knew that could guide me in that direction.
Exactly.
And because of the job that I did for him, I became a staff attorney, which I didn't know that position existed either. And so he's like, I don't want you to leave after this summer. I want you to stay. So the next thing I want you to do is become a staff attorney. And when you're done with that, do you know what's after that? I want you to become a state's attorney.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And so I think that sometimes people come into your path that will give you the right direction, and other times you have to be your own beacon of light.
Exactly.
And so in this instance, again, doing the right thing for all the right reasons gave me a reward.
Yeah.
And so 23 years later, I'm still here. I'm still here.
That's amazing. So this all happened
going.
from you giving him a robe.
It did.
How did you manage to find a robe in a high school?
It was at my law school.
Okay.
Somebody had it in their office.
Why did I think you were talking about Marshall High School?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Somebody had it in their office.
Okay.
And why did they have it in their office? I'm not really sure.
But it was there
but they had
for that
it.
reason.
And what I think it really was, looking back and thinking about it, I think it was the robes that they wear whenever there's a graduation ceremony. I don't think it really was a robe for a judge, but it was black. It was close.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it served a purpose.
So what are some challenges you face in your current position?
I'm going to tell you one day. I think I had been a state's attorney for, I'm going to say about 15 years. I walk into court, and there's a place where the state's attorney stands. It's always the same place.
Yeah.
There's a place where the defense attorney stands. It's pretty much the same place.
Yeah.
It was clear to me that I was the state's attorney. It was very clear. But I had somebody that walk up to me, and this is what they said without knowing. When the state's attorney gets here, this is what I want you to tell them. And so I said, oh, okay. Okay. Knowing that I was, and I didn't get upset. I wasn't rude. I said, oh, no problem, no problem. So the judge comes out, and the judge begins court, and they're like, state? And I looked at the person, and I took my place. And I think that the individual didn't realize, number one, as a woman, that I could be the state's attorney. And number two, obviously, because I was a woman of color.
Exactly.
And so I had some choices in that moment. I could either respond very negatively to that person.
Exactly.
Or I could just show them by example,
Yep.
I am that person.
Exactly.
Because when the judge asked for the state to appear, I stepped up to the bench.
That's amazing.
So it felt good in the end, and I'm glad that I restrained myself. So I think that's the challenge is I am here.
Exactly.
I am the person that you need to work with, and you need to know that we look so different. You know, we're men, we're women, we're black, we're Asian, we're Hispanic, we're the rainbow.
Exactly.
So that's the challenge, and I'm really short.
Wow.
That's the other challenge, but that's not going to change, right?
Exactly.
And so I've learned how to step back a little bit, so that even though I'm in front of the bench, I step back a little bit so you can still see me.
Exactly.
And I talk with authority, and I stand up straight, and I project out.
That's good.
So.
Wow. So did the person apologize afterwards?
They tried to. But to me, the damage was already done.
Yeah.
The damage was done.
But you took that very well, because I feel like a lot of people, people in our community, they don't really know how to restrain themselves. I feel like a lot of things and a lot of violence happen because people really don't know how to keep their composure. They like lash out really fast, and they don't really think like you don't have to respond to anything like that. You can just show them that you can be better, but they give them the same energy that they're giving. and they don't really understand the importance of like just not like don't project anything that you don't like, because if you don't like the way somebody else is coming at you, you should respond with that same energy, because you're putting something out that you're going to get back, and there's nothing that's going to be solved from that. So I feel like that's a good like way of showing self-control. I think that's the word. Yeah.
And pride. I was like, you're not going to diminish me
Or make me feel less than what I am.
by not acknowledging me.
Exactly.
Because I know who I am in this role, in this moment.
Right.
And you're not going to take that away from me.
Yep.
And sometimes, and I didn't even have to say anything. I just assumed the role. I just stepped right up there
Yep.
and began to do my job. So I agree with you. I mean, I think that, again, it's our actions that always speak louder than anything we can do.
Yep, very true. So what do you enjoy most about your current position?
My current position allows me to do things like this, to go out into the community and engage directly with individuals.
Okay.
I mean, as a prosecutor, obviously, that is my passion, and I love being in court. I love doing cases. But if I could do more than that, and go out and do programs with youth in schools, or go out and talk to the community about what we do, so that they know that the face of the state attorney is so much broader than what they might assume.
Yeah.
Because we want to be out of business. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't want people to engage with the community, with the criminal justice system. If I could prevent one person from ever stepping into that building, then that's something that I want to do. And that's why we get out there and we do programs. Or if I could get information out to the community about what we do, that's important as well. And that's another way to sort of heal.
Right.
So it's just wearing many different hats. I like it.
That's good.
I like it a
because
lot.
you're able to give that person at least a vision of it, instead of not knowing about it at all. You give them you give them something that they can use and that they can take for themselves, because you can't lead somebody like the whole way. They have to be passionate and want it, because you don't want to make it like you're like dragging somebody somewhere they don't want to be. But you give them information and you let them do what they will with it, and like take that and like just work with it. And people do that, and that's amazing.
Yeah, you're right.
So what career accomplishments are you most proud of, and why?
I had a case actually on Monday, that I'm really proud of, and of the homicides that I have been part of. I think it's just bringing some sort of healing to the families, being compassionate and letting them know that although I can't bring their loved ones back, that we did everything we could to get them on the path to healing.
Yeah.
And also to be aware that there's an individual on the other side of that, there are consequences to what you do, but an understanding of that whole person, and that they also have a family that's now not going to see them for a long period of time. So I think that individual cases have made me feel very fulfilled, but also that I have a compassion for the work that I do. I think that's the most, that's what I'm most proud of in doing the job that I do.
That's very good. So like when you say that, like, so when you think about the opposing side and like what they do, you think about them having a family and stuff like that, but you also take in the fact that they need to have consequences for what they did.
Correct.
Okay.
And the highest, the most devastating thing that you could do as an individual is take another person's life.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then there's laws that have been written, and there's consequences. And one of the things, the consequences is that you go to prison for a period of time. But in making, being part of the decision in this case, we also were able to look at all that we had and make the best decision that we could around the amount of time that the person spent in prison for taking somebody's life, which is very serious. And so I think that maybe people don't understand that although we are prosecutors and we're on this side, we look at everything, not just from our perspective. So I just want to make sure people understand that.
Yeah. So what motivates you to succeed?
I think what motivates me most is that I always want to be just a little bit better than I was before, or take a little bit more of a challenge on and do something that I haven't done before. Because I think that we always can learn more. We always should want to learn more. And being grateful for the things that we've been given but curious about the things we want to discover.
Yeah.
And so if I can learn something new every day, that would be fun for me. I don't get to learn that much stuff, but
Yeah.
it's a goal to really stay open and curious.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me young.
Very true.
Not as young as you,
Look
but
young.
young.
Look young too, okay?
Thanks.
I think that's actually good to stay curious because I don't think that anyone could ever stop learning. Like it's always something new for you to learn. And I believe that I'm like that also. Like I like to do stuff or learn stuff that's like hard to understand and then come out of it and be like, wow, like now I understand it and I thought I couldn't understand it. So I think that what motivates me also is like being able to say that I was able to do something that I thought I couldn't. So knowing that I can go into something like learn and like do whatever I think I can do instead of putting myself down because whatever energy I go into it with is the energy that I receive from it. So if I go in and think, okay, I can do this, then I'll be able to do it because like my intentions are good and things like that. So I'll just like get more
You
out
haven't
of it.
self-sabotaged yourself before you even began.
Yeah.
And I think that we do that to ourselves sometimes as women of color, as women, because I don't know that the answer's always been yes for us.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying sometimes we have to self-motivate and we have to tell ourselves yes. And then maybe it's a maybe, but at least we tried.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's a no, but is it no right now? That's fine for me too.
Right.
I'll
'Cause we
take
can
it.
always wait, take it slow and steady, and never rush anything because everything will work how it's supposed to.
Right. Or maybe we need to gain some new skills, or maybe we're just not ready to do that thing. And that's
Exactly.
hard. That's a hard thing, I think, for us to realize too, is like maybe not now, but that
Right.
doesn't mean maybe not ever. But if you're not prepared and you go on, then you do fulfill what they say about sometimes black women or sometimes women of color.
You feed the statistics instead. Like, don't try to rush into something because you feel like, oh, I need to go and do it. Wait until you're ready so that you can like put in your best and like put in 100%, so that it's not like, oh, I just did it because you said I couldn't. It's like, oh, I did it because I'm ready and I did it because that I know I can come out of it successful.
And you picked me because you know that I have the skills to do this well.
Exactly. Yes.
Or I'm to the point where I have enough skill to do it well, and then I'm going to gain some more skill and just be excellent at it.
Exactly.
So that's what I try to do.
So what do you enjoy doing during non-work hours?
I run.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm going to say that I'm a runner because everybody that runs is a runner. My daughter and I are training now to do a race in Disney. It's going to be our first run in Disney.
In
and
California?
That's in Florida. We're going to
Oh.
Florida, Disney World. So we're going to
Okay.
Florida. But I have to tell you that you have to be able to run more than 15 minutes a mile to see all the Disney princesses along the route. And so I'm slow, and I'm really slow. But I want to see those princesses.
So you're practicing.
So
and
I am
practicing.
on the track on Wednesdays, and I'm out there on Saturday mornings doing long runs to
That's
get fast enough to
good.
see those girls.
That's
what I
good.
really want to do.
I feel like a lot of people don't really. I feel like they take like exercise and running and stuff like that for granted because that stuff really that stuff is like I didn't used to run a lot and my stamina was really low. Like I used to dance because I'm a dancer and I dance and it just be low. So then as I started doing like basketball, they make us like run consistently, like run like around the whole school, run down and back on the courts and stuff. And it's like as you keep doing that, you just feel like I don't know, like you just feel yourself like opening up and like you can just run more and run like for a longer period of time. So like if you saying Wednesdays and like Sunday morning,
Yeah, I'm out there.
you're gonna
I'm
be
running.
you're gonna be 10 minutes from now, okay?
But I have to
Yes.
say that I also picked running too because I'm just not good at it. So it was a time for me to challenge myself and stick in there. And even though if I'm the slowest runner out there, I'm here
Yep.
and I'm getting a benefit from it.
Exactly.
We also run because we want to be healthy. I want to have a good heart. There's a
Yeah.
lot of diseases that a lot of African Americans get, like high blood pressure, problems with your heart. Well, the only way to combat that is to move your body
Yep.
and to stay
Stay
healthy.
active. Yep.
And we want healthy communities. And our death rate compared to non-whites, about 3 to 1. So we want to overcome that. And so the
Yeah.
way to do that is to move our bodies.
Ooh, that just scared me. I got a little
Yeah,
shock
the
in my
numbers are
heart.
not good in our favor.
Yeah,
so.
that is not good.
Yeah, and it gives me a time to be on my own and just be out there, you know. Yeah.
So do you know of any activities that young people can be involved in to educate and empower them?
I think that the most important thing that you can do as a young person is do the things that you're doing. Like get involved in your community, know the issues that are out there, meet really interesting people, and make sure that you do well in school.
Right.
School is your foundation. Education is your foundation. Nobody can take that back from you. And I know that we were talking just a little bit ago because you're a senior and you're thinking about your career beyond here. You got to have a path, and that's the path that you've got to have. Education.
So what's one thing you wish someone had told you when you were younger?
I wish somebody would have held me by my hand and said, "You can. You can." Not because of where you're coming from.
Right.
You can because of everything that's in here.
Yes.
And your circumstances are not going to determine your destiny. And I wish somebody would have just sat me down and told me that. Because I think that that's something that I keep telling myself again and again. And I don't know that any level of success that I even achieve now lets me hear that voice as clear as I should.
Yeah.
But that's what I wish that somebody would have told me when I
Yes.
was young.
I believe that sometimes we understand our situations, we take that and we correlate that with what we think we can and cannot do. So if we start to learn about like money, it's like, oh, I have less money than them. And then you start to like make things click as you get older, like, oh, they might have more opportunities than me, or they can go and buy a camera, but I want to be somebody who like broadcasts, or I want to be a photographer, but I can't buy a camera. They can buy a camera. They can go and do that faster than I can. I can't do it. And they start limiting themselves and putting themselves in these boxes that starts to become their reality, because everything you think and say, like 9 out of 10 will be your life, because that's what you're putting out. So I think that when people start to tell them about what they do and don't have, and like telling kids like, oh, you can and can't do that, like, oh, be realistic, it put them in these boxes and it makes them believe that they can't do things. And I don't think that that's healthy for the community, because then it just keeps a lot of us here and we're super close-minded and we stay in the community and we just like carry on and just follow the streets a lot of the times. And it's all because of the mindset that we were taught to have from when we were younger. So I think that a lot of people need to hear that also.
Right. And just keep saying it. You can.
Yeah.
You know, you can. And there's just so many times that you see young people who don't have hope.
Yeah.
And if you don't have hope, you're going to make really bad choices.
Yes. And they don't have like any motivation. I actually did a survey. I do surveys in school, and I like survey the students in my throughout my school, and I asked them like what motivates them. And a lot of them say like nothing, or they say, oh, money motivates me, like school doesn't motivate me, and it's really bad, because it's like I do the survey about it, but like, then what can I do to help them? We ask like, what can motivate you? And like a lot of the answers are pretty vague, because I feel like they don't really care that much, or they don't think that anyone's gonna fulfill those needs that they have. So they'd be really vague with their answers. So we just try to I'm trying to do what I can to like see what motivates them, so that I can like try to at least help, because like the motivation throughout the school is like really low. So we need to like fix that.
I like the dialogue. I mean, I think if you don't ask, then you won't even know what somebody could even possibly need.
Exactly.
And so I think that's step one.
Yeah.
Is at least to get a sense of, and I think the question is, how can I help you?
Right.
What do you need right now? You even see that with some coworkers or people that are overwhelmed, and I think just asking the question lets them know that somebody cares.
Yeah. So if anyone would like to get in contact with you regarding legal help or just advice in general, how could they contact you?
They can contact me at the Cook County State Attorney's Office. It's my first name, my last name, so it's joy.tobertnelson@cookcountysio.org.
Also, guys, I would like to talk about the MySpace drop-in program that Fathers Who Care has. It's for anyone ages 13 to 24, Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it is a safe space for young people to have life skill workshops, do homework, different activities, go on field trips if you would like to, and basically just have talks about the community. And there will also be Zoom meetings every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you can contact Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821 to hear more about these West Garfield Park Youth Council Thursday Zoom meetings and the MySpace drop-in. If you are just tuning in, our guest tonight on the show is State's Attorney Joy E. Tobert Nelson, and we were discussing developing the minds of our future young leaders. We would love to thank our viewers for watching. For additional information about our Youth Council, please contact us at 773-287-5821. Again, that number is 773-287-5821, and ask for Miss Princess. Thank you, and tune in next week, same time, same station, for our guest, Dr. Trenton Frederick, and we will discuss how to live a sober and violence-free lifestyle. Happy holidays to everyone, and see you next week.
Happy holidays.